afternoon and welcome to the ninth annual Women in Leadership event. And we're here to honor again some very, very outstanding women, as many of you are who are seated in the audience. By the way, have you noticed how the men are inching in and inching in and inching in? We're going to have them to stand first. All of the fortunate men who are able to be our guests today, please stand. All of the fortunate men. Blessed are you among women. The 9th annual, and for many of you, I know, first of all, you've enjoyed Denise Times and Tony Simmons and the reception outside. Let us give them another hand, please. And you've enjoyed each other. And I know that you got an opportunity to see the display of gifts. The display of gifts, over 112 items. Over 112 items. So at this time, I'm going to ask all of the former awardees to please stand. All of the former awardees, please stand. Congratulations again, and what we would like for you to do is meet me after the event today so we can organize a march. To march in front of Michael's office, even if he moves it, so that we too, we're so appreciative of the few little items we got, aren't we? We're fortunate, but man alive, have you seen everything out there? You couldn't even look at everything. All of the wonderful gifts from here and afar. So Michael, I'm going to give you more kudos later, but we do appreciate the way you have scouted, cajoled, and done all that you possibly could, humanly possible, to make these women happier than we are. How many of you have attended all of 9 of these? Raise your hands. All right, and you have seen the evolution, haven't you? For how many of you is this your very first luncheon? We'd like for you to stand and be applauded. If this is your first luncheon, please stand. Well, you'll realize that there's nothing anywhere to compare with this event. There is nothing anywhere to compare with the Women in Leadership sponsored by the St. Louis Community Empowerment Foundation. This is an exceptional day, and of course, Michael McMillan is chairman of the board of the St. Louis Community Empowerment Foundation, and you are in store for a lot of wonderful things. We also would like to acknowledge all of you who have come from out of town for this event in honor of those who are being honored also. I do know that Lenny Atterbury Sims from Chicago is here in honor of her sister Mary Polk. And where are you, Lenny? Tell Lenny to stand. And I also know that Peggy Austin is here from Chicago. I worked with her many years ago on a special project with Walgreens. But if we're not, I'll just leave it there, all right. And, all right, enough for that. But she has her own company now called Gold Star out of Chicago, and she's a U-City former resident here in St. Louis, has parents here. Now, let's move on. Today's recognitions redefine appreciation. So we're going to tell you to relax. How many of you are old enough to remember the program on NBC, which is the only one we had for a long time, Queen for a Day? You remember that? How many of you would sit there and say, ooh, I wish that was I? Well, you're going to say it again today. But the foundation has already made you queens in waiting, because everybody has a nice gift bag at your table, right? Everybody has a nice gift bag. And if you're like I am, you collect bags. And so you're glad for the bag and its contents. I don't need to collect another thing. And finally, this day is in honor of some very special women, and I would like, first of all, to also acknowledge one other person here, the recently appointed Court of Appeals Justice, the Honorable Angela Turner Quigless. She is soon to go through her investiture. And let me now call the names. You know, I know they're going to be called by Michael later, and they're going to be receiving gifts and acknowledgments, but I just want to call their names and have them to stand, and we'll applaud them all. We want to begin and end the program with them. Adrienne Bracey. All right, like I said, applaud. Kathleen Brady. Dr. Jacqueline Brock. We have Kimberly McKinney. Robbie Montgomery. Sandra Moore. Dr. Myrtle Darcy. Shirley Drury. Valerie Patton. Frankie Eichenberg. Cindy Erickson. The Honorable Casey Starr Triplett. Mary Atterbury Polk. And Lifetime Achiever, the inimitable Zernona Clayton. Now would all of the honorees stand, and let's give them a thunderous applause. We have other guests that we'd like for you to see today. Our own National Baseball Hall of Famer, Lou Brock, who broke the record. Lou Brock broke the record for stealing bases and batting. And there's a group getting together, you know, Mr. Brock, to honor Jackie Robinson, etc. They called Thelma's husband, Dave Stewart, one of our co-sponsors, as you know, today, and he said, I don't mind honoring Jackie Robinson, but what about Lou Brock and Kurt Flood? And so, And ladies, hold on to your seats and your hats. And actor extraordinaire who broke many boundaries with the original movie Shaft, Mr. Richard Roundtree. Mr. Roundtree, would you do everybody a favor and just come and stand here so they can see you better? In fact, come up here and stand by me. They want to see you better. Here he is, Richard Roundtree. I told him, you have no idea how many women in St. Louis are just in love with your name. And when I get to a meeting later on this evening and tell them that I was this close to you, 4 women in this meeting, I'm going to have pictures made with you in different cities. But I'm gonna tell them I have the latest, most seasoned picture. Now, honorees are going to be blown away with all of the wonderful gifts today. And I guess you wonder how they're going to get all these wonderful items home. Well, they will have an attendant assigned to them. They're going to be delivered to their homes. In that style. Now, you may want them to go to your office or somebody else's house. We don't know. But let your attendant know. And remember that Lou Brock and Richard Roundtree are our best friends too, and they are here because of their special guests. We have a special guest now to bring us greetings, and that person is the Attorney General, the 41st Attorney General for our great state of Missouri. Chris Costner.
Thank you, dear.
All right.
I grew up in St. Louis, and it's Missouri, at least in my house. So good afternoon, and thank you for the kind introduction. It's my privilege to be with all of you at this really extraordinary event to honor these extraordinary women. I've reviewed all the award recipients' records, and they are an extraordinarily impressive group of leaders from the business community, the government community, the religious community, and those who serve our communities themselves. Of course, Ms. Clayton is here to receive the Foundation's Lifetime Achievement Award for her work in civil rights. Every year through her Trumpet Awards Foundation, she helps recognize the accomplishments of men and women who have significantly contributed to the cause of justice and equality for all. And I'm thrilled that she is being recognized today. It's also really neat for me to be here with the Brocks. My dad was an old sports writer in town back when there was an entity called the St. Louis Globe-Democrat. That was gone a long time ago. But what the Brocks don't realize is that when I was just barely bigger than knee-high, this man was my hero, and I would go down to the ballpark and watch him all the time. And to this day in my home, I have a base on the wall that has your signature on it, 938, for your lifetime achievement. And time apparently doesn't touch the Brock family. Well, the rest of us get older, the Brocks don't seem to get older. The St. Louis Community Empowerment Foundation and my Attorney General's office share a common mission. And that mission is ensuring the security of Missourians in our homes and in our neighborhoods, for citizens of St. Louis and all across this state. The foundation performs needed community improvements here locally in the Jeff Vanderloo neighborhoods and in the surrounding areas by distributing school supplies to more than 500 youths each year, by addressing difficult drug problems and decaying infrastructure that plagues our cities, and by countless other acts of generosity. In this way, the foundation fights back against threats that come from outside the home. But sometimes the threats come from inside the home. Too often in our state, that threat is domestic violence, and that is where my office can play a meaningful role. In the Attorney General's office in Jefferson City, just recently we completed our work on a domestic violence task force. And we brought together some of the outstanding leaders in our state who have combated this scourge over the past several decades. And for the first time in 30 years here in our state, we completed a review. We went around the state, held meetings on the topic of domestic violence, and for the first time redid the laws in the state to fight back against domestic violence in 30 years. Not in 30 years had these laws been re-examined. And Governor Nixon signed them last year, and now a new set of laws are on the books to fight back against this scourge. So the foundation deals with threats that come from outside the home. Those of us in Jefferson City are trying to deal with threats that come from within the home. And we hope that together we are really making St. Louis and the state of Missouri a better place and a safer place for the people in this region that we are sworn to protect. So to the award recipients today, I want to offer my congratulations for your extraordinary service. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about the service that my colleagues at the Attorney General's office are working toward to help with our common goal in the state, which is to make the lives of constituents better across Missouri. So I thank you and congratulate you. Good day.
At this time, I also want to, there are so many wonderful people, but I'd like to also make mention of the fact that David Stewart was here last year and with his wife Thelma, one of our major sponsors. He is out of town. Of course, his wife is here, but she will be introduced in due time, in due fashion. But I would like for you to know that she's here and where she's seated. Thelma Stewart, please stand. Thelma Stewart. Thelma was just saluted Saturday night as Variety Woman of the Year. Variety Woman of the Year. Congratulations. And as Variety Woman of the Year, she was receiving accolades and gifts, but she was busy giving out accolades and gifts to everybody, bought everybody something there. And that isn't overlooked, Thelma, and we appreciate it. And coming with her today from Dave Stewart's office at Worldwide Technology, if you want something done, you gotta see them. Please stand. Patty Carr, Executive Secretary and Assistant to Dave Stewart, and stand, Patty. And Jerry Colesworthy, also assisting in that office. And now it's my pleasure to bring to you a gentleman that is a person that has done something for most of us in here. You know, everybody thinks that he or she knows Michael because Michael, they say, meets no strangers. But most people just know a piece of him. Now, they wrote a lot of stuff for me to read here. I don't need to read this. I knew Michael before they did who wrote it, all right? But I appreciate the tips. But Michael is presently the license collector for the city of St. Louis, chairman of the board of directors of the St. Louis Community Empowerment Foundation. Many of you knew when he served as an alderman of the 19th Ward. That's how this luncheon got started. How many of you are the original 19th Ward guests at the luncheon? It was just for the 19th Ward and a few guests. Raise your hands. 19th Ward and Marlene Davis. All right? That's how it got started. And then the foundation grew, became citywide, and now this acknowledgement is citywide. But for over 10 years, he collaborated and brought in $1.25 billion in economic development and worked to build a self-sufficient community around it for neighborhood stabilization. He was selected as one of 8 Americans by the Eisenhower Foundation for a fellowship to Ireland and Paris, and by the American Council of Young Political Leaders on delegations to Nicaragua, El Salvador, Russia, China, and Malaysia. So people all over the world know him, and they don't know that once he visits your country, he sends you a letter thanking you for your hospitality and asking you for a lot of gifts for this luncheon. So when you invite him into your home, he's going to bring something out for somebody else. And that's just the kind of gentleman Mike is. So it's my pleasure to bring to you my dear friend and a worker for, as he calls himself, our humble servant, but he's beyond that. He's young, and he's dashing, and he's focused. So please welcome the brains behind this event, the Honorable Michael McMillan.
Thank you, Ida. And for those of you who know Ida, when she said that she was going to read and say what she wanted to, you were not surprised about that either. So welcome once again to our Salute to Women in Leadership. We are very thankful to all of you for being here, very proud of the accomplishments of our awardees today and all of our staff who have worked very hard to make sure that today's is the biggest and best that we have ever had. We're going to go right into our program and do special recognitions today for 2 fantastic women who are here with us from out of town, who are joining us from New York and Washington, D.C., respectively. 25 years ago in 1987, Congress declared March Women's History Month to recognize the contributions women of every race and class have made to help shape and strengthen this country and to promote the teaching of women's history. And today, we have excellent examples of women in leadership that are teaching the current generation and the next. And as we begin to present these 2 special recognitions, I would like to ask all of the girls and staff of Girls Inc. to be here with us today, who are special guests so that they can meet mentors and become the female leaders of the future. Girls Inc. Now, I would like to ask the McKissick sisters to please come forward and join me on stage. You can read about all of their accomplishments in the program, as you can all of our other awardees, but we are so very proud to have them with us today. They have a company, McKissick & McKissick, that has been in continuous operation 5 generations from slavery. They are one of the largest African-American owned companies in the entire United States. They have worked on and helped build the Martin Luther King Monument in Washington, D.C. as construction managers. And if you go to New York, underneath the World Trade Center, they helped build the new center that you see today, a $30 billion transportation headquarters in New York. They have offices around the country. They are significant leaders who give back in charitable and civic activities. So today we want to give back to you. We have several items that we would like to present to you to pay a special tribute to you today. We have our Shadow Box Award from the foundation that we present to all of our honorees for each of you. In addition, we have a special gift set courtesy of Neiman Marcus, a special gift set courtesy of Godiva, and a variety of other smaller gifts, in addition to flowers for both of you. And most importantly, we have a special commendation and a White House Award from the President of the United States to say thank you for what you have done as history makers all over the country. So we are so honored and so grateful and so thankful to have you in St. Louis. God bless and keep you, and we look forward to you coming here and helping us rebuild our city. Congratulations. Now, as Ida has mentioned for the past several years, that she is trying to organize a civil rights march upon me for all previous awardees, because we have started with 15 gifts and awards for each of our awardees, and then we went to 25, and then to 35, and last year to 80. This year it's 175 items for each of our awardees today. So we realize that we have a debt to pay to the previous awardees. But as you might imagine, since we've been doing this luncheon for a number of years, it is hard to do them all at once. So this year we're going to start off our special tributes to our past awardees with honoring our previous Lifetime Achievement awardees in our 9th year, and during our 10th year, we will then proceed and honor all of our previous awardees with yet another tribute. So I would like to ask all of our previous Lifetime recipients, Dr. Katie H. Wright, Attorney Frankie Muse Freeman, Johnetta Haley, and Dr. Lillian Parks to please join me on stage to receive a special tribute as former Lifetime Achievers here today. We thank them for their leadership, their vision, their lifetime of service and contributions, and we also wish to pay a very special tribute to the life and legacy of Margaret Bush Wilson, who of course is no longer with us, one of our other previous Lifetime awardees. But these women are icons in the St. Louis region who continue to serve, who continue to give back. So in addition to the medallions that you have received from the foundation, we have, courtesy of Tiffany's, each one of you will have a foot-tall vase of crystal from Tiffany's filled with a wonderful flower arrangement and a box of Godiva chocolates, and courtesy of Congressman William Lacey Clay, a special commemorative book from the Library of Congress. So thank you all for everything that you do. We love you and appreciate you. And thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Go back. What do we do? Thank you.
Now, very briefly, I would like to ask Ida Woolfolk to come back to the stage. As you know, she's been our MC for 9 years. I'd like to ask Carolyn Valentine, who is our office manager at the foundation headquarters. And I would also like to ask Ms. Denise Times, who is performing for us again and donating her time and service. And also Dawn Fuller, Chief of Staff for Congressman William Lacey Clay, who went above and beyond the call of duty in procuring many, many items that you will hear about later today. And I would like to ask all 4 of you ladies to join me on stage for a special tribute for you as well. Carolyn, we thank you for all your day-to-day hard work. Ida, we thank you for 9 years of service as MC. Dawn, we thank you for all your help. And Denise, we thank you for singing and bringing joy to us all the time. So we have a floral arrangement for each one of you as a token of our thanks to say how much we appreciate you. Thank you, and we love you and appreciate everything you have done. Now,
Please welcome Michael McMillan.
thank you, Ida. Let's give her another round of applause, St. Louis's best MC. Ida Goodwin-Woolfolk. As you know, this luncheon has some very generous sponsors and supporters that have been with us in many years and served us so that we could serve you, and we are very grateful to them. Anheuser-Busch, of course, has been the sponsor of this luncheon since its inception, and we're very proud of the fact that Vanessa Foster Cooksey, who I had just said has just been married from her love affair from meeting in the airport. Thank you, American Airlines. Is here to represent Anheuser-Busch, and we'd also like to acknowledge Johnny and Minga Fur, who helped us 9 years ago get started with this luncheon in its inception. And I'd like to ask Vanessa to please join us on stage because we have a special presentation and gift that we would like to convey to you for all of the kindness that Anheuser-Busch has shown us in sponsoring this event. And thank you for your years of dedication. Vanessa and I had the pleasure of working together previously when she was Director of Corporate Affairs nationally for Save-A-Lot Super Value, and she was just as dedicated to helping people then as she is now. So, Vanessa, we have some flowers for you to add to your collection that Antonio gives you on a daily basis. And in addition to that, as you know, Neiman Marcus has been a sponsor of our luncheon since its inception as well. And inside that box, from the Dallas headquarters of the corporate office of Neiman Marcus, is a large revolving globe symbolizing Anheuser-Busch InBev as the largest brewery in the world. Thank you, my dear, for your help and your dedication to us. And I'd like you to please stay on stage because I would now like to ask Thelma Stewart to please come forward and join us on stage. As you know, she and her husband, David, have founded and created the largest African-American owned company in the entire United States with sales surpassing $4 billion. And that David Stewart has been on our board of directors for the past 10 years, and we're very appreciative of their sponsorship, their generosity. As Ida said, they were just named as Citizens of the Year at the Variety Club, the Children's Charity of St. Louis fundraiser. Thelma was Woman of the Year. As you know, they have been chairman of the African American Giving Initiative for the United Way and chairman of the entire United Way board, raising over $70 million and personally donating over $1 million to the United Way in its annual campaign. So Thelma, of course, with a woman of your grace and stature and elegance and the magnitude of everything you have achieved, we thought that we could not come up with anything here for you in St. Louis. So we called down to Dallas to Amici, and Amici decided to help us guide our gift process. So we have two different sets, one for you and David and one just for you, and some flowers for you as well. Amici put together 3 books with the Eiffel Tower of your favorite city in Paris when you travel to Europe, and inside them are a whole set of beauty products that she hand-selected from the Neiman Marcus in Dallas for you of all of your favorite collection. And then we have a set of your favorite chocolates and candies and cookies that were sent as well from Dallas. So thank you so much. We love you and appreciate you. So, ladies, I would like to ask you to stay on stage to help me with our presentations as we continue and we do our awardees today. And as we get ready for our gift display of all of our different items that we have for our awardees today. So as you know, we have 14 awardees that are here today, and you can read more about them in the program. As we present their awards, we will ask them to come up, of course, and as was stated earlier, we will be giving all of the different awardees their items later because, quite frankly, it's just too much to take back with you at this point. Now that it has grown to 175, and we have Zernona Clayton here, who is a civil rights pioneer. At lunch, Ida was trying to get her involved in doing this boycott on us for not giving to the previous awardees in terms of giving enough. We also wanted to acknowledge, but unfortunately they had to go back, Walgreens, who is a sponsor, as you can see, of the luncheon this year, and you see they have gifts in each bag as well, so we want to thank them. And let's give all three of our sponsors a round of applause and thanks for making this possible. So as I stated earlier, we have 175 items that we have accumulated from all over the St. Louis metropolitan region, the bi-state area, the nation, and the world. And we're very, 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 very excited to present them to our honorees. Our group one is the official recognitions from the government. There are 42 different elected officials that have sent you letters, proclamations, or resolutions that include my office of the license collector, the Board of Aldermen, and the president of the board, Louis Reed, Alderwoman Marlene Davis, former mayors Freeman Bosley Jr. of St. Louis and David Dinkins of New York, from our county executive, Charlie Dooley, and county councilwoman Hazel Irby. We have a day proclaimed in your honor for over 1 million people in St. Louis County, along with St. Charles County with County Executive Elman. From the Illinois side, we have East St. Louis Mayor Parks and St. Clair County Executive Mark Kern. From Missouri State Representatives Tashara Jones and Jamila Nasheed, Missouri State Senator Robin Wright Jones, Secretary Robin Carnahan, 2011 honoree, State Treasurer Clint Zweifel, and Attorney General Chris Koster, who was here earlier. And both governors of our states in Missouri and Illinois, Nixon and Quinn, have sent you official commendations proclaiming today in your honor in all of Missouri and Illinois. In addition, our United States congressmen enthusiastically wanted to be counted in the lineup. U.S. Senators Blunt, Durbin, Kirk, and McCaskill, state delegations from all over the country, and specifically we want to give a special thanks to our Congressman William Lacey Clay, who went above and beyond the call of duty to procure items for you. We also have items from Maxine Waters from LA, from Russ Carnahan, Illinois Congressman Jerry Costello, and resolutions from Texas State Representative Mark Vesey. Joining also in your commendation, you have a letter from the Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden. But we also wanted you to have more. So our Congressman, William Lacey Clay, for the first time ever, had today's honorees read into the congressional record to make sure that your legacy would continue forever. Also in your book of letters, you have a letter from the first female Speaker of the House and current Democratic Leader of Congress, Nancy Pelosi. And you also have a letter and picture from Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton, both since you personally signed letters. Now, many of these are posted in your official book of letters, and after you browse through your tabletop book, we will have others for you written by our sponsor today, David Stewart, 17 official Missouri State books and gift items from Representative Carla May. We have an autobiography of a lifetime of achievements by a lifetime achievement honoree today, Zernona Clayton, and a new release by Charlotte Otley, Director of Communications in the St. Louis License Collector's Office. But in addition to all the other books that you get from the Library of Congress and all of the other reading materials, we wanted to give you a night out. So each honoree will receive 26 sets of complimentary tickets for them and a guest to attend annual civic dinners hosted by organizations such as the Urban League, NAACP, Gateway Classic, Better Family Life, and nights out at the fabulous Fox, Symphony, Art Museum, Sheldon, Edison, Griot Museum, the Cardinals, and St. Louis University, and it goes on and on. In addition, you will have a culinary delight with a complimentary brunch for two at Scape in the Central West End, dinner for two at Mike Shannon's, or you can stop by City Hall on weekdays and visit Pam's Cafe. You can have your own party at home with a complete wine and premium liquor basket, or a specialty set of teas and baskets for your entertaining pleasure, making your own appetizers and serve them with your guests on your brand new Lazy Susan that was donated as well. But now, it gets a little more personal for our queens for a day. We know that you work and you need a time for relaxation and pampering. So we wanted to make sure that each of you have 6 different spa experiences, including a $300 facial at Nordstrom. On any occasion, you can wear your custom handmade necklace and matching earrings made by local jewelry designers and store them in your black champagne jewelry box. Don't forget your blonde mink purse, and you can end it all by having a complimentary night here at the Renaissance Grand Hotel. So, in addition, Hellsberg Diamonds has sent their teddy bear to keep you warm and safe if you don't have a guest to go with you to the Renaissance, along with a Godiva chocolate bear. Walgreens has sent each of our honorees a $100 gift certificate. A special occasion can be taken and photographed for commemoration by Isaac Perry. And while decorating your office or home with all of your awards, you have a handmade quilt by Shelby Bullock, daughter of the renowned and 2010 honoree attorney Frankie Muse Freeman, to add to your display. But every party would not be a party without music. So you have a complimentary CD that was sent to you by Earth, Wind, and Fire and our own Denise Times. Vanessa Foster and Anheuser-Busch have arranged for each of you to receive a VIP Brewmasters tour of Anheuser-Busch to get an up-close and personal look at Anheuser-Busch like you have never seen before, along with your Clydesdale stuffed animal to take home as well. And Jackie and Lou Brock and the St. Louis Cardinals have provided you with a World Series replica statue. And we have sent from Washington, D.C., a replica of the Martin Luther King Monument by the Monument Commission, donated by Daryl and Cheryl McKissick. In addition, of course, you have seen outside that you also have a replica of the new Freedom Tower in New York that the McKissicks have worked on. Now, perfume gifts ranging from samples from Macy's to you get a St. John original set of perfume. And to sweeten your palate, you have alphabet chocolates in your initials, a stiletto shoe filled with Bissinger's chocolates, and of course, a box of Godiva chocolates for you personally. And a Queen's Day would not be complete without a special beauty package from Nordstrom on top of the $300 facial that each of you will receive, and a special gift set from Neiman Marcus. Each lady has their own flowers and flower vase to keep the memories throughout the year. And in addition, you've seen Richard Roundtree and Lou Brock. There are 11 celebrities that you have pictures that are personally signed for each one of you. Songstress Denise Times, of course, actor Richard Gant, comedian George Wallace, the Honorable David Dinkins of New York, Malik Yoba, and John Hamm of the award-winning television series Mad Men, NFL Hall of Famer and champion of Dancing with the Stars Emmitt Smith, National Baseball Hall of Famer Lou Brock, and entrepreneur, and actress Ruby Dee. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, and of course, Richard Roundtree, which I'm sure will be the favorite based on what I heard earlier. And each of you has a framed, personally autographed picture of Michelle Obama, courtesy of Congressman William Lacey Clay. Now, we promised you the world, and we brought the world to you. So you have congratulatory letters in your book from Ghana, Africa, in the village with an orphanage and school dedicated in the name of our lifetime achiever, Zernona Clayton. In addition, the U.S. and UN ambassadors of Grenada, letters from Brazil, a letter from the Prime Minister's office from the Ministry of Women in Australia, from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, Ireland, from Moscow, and a resolution from the Bahrain Council on women's affairs from the first African woman to be elected and appointed then to the Shura Council in the Kingdom of Bahrain. In addition, since all of you are world travelers, you will see a Louis Vuitton book for each of you that details different cities so that you can have the experience of a lifetime as you go to them throughout the world. Now, for some of you, I know that you were disappointed it wasn't a purse, but they do make books and give us time. So, now, this year, of course, in England, the most powerful woman in the world will celebrate her 60th year at the throne of England. Queen Elizabeth is the longest serving monarch in Europe and the second longest reigning in the world. And we could not take you there today, but we did bring you replicas of the official Buckingham plates that will be used during her Royal Jubilee dinner for you to have personally from Buckingham Palace. Now back to St. Louis as we close out our groupings. Each of you already have your medallion. You have an award from the Office of the License Collector, a commemorative frame program cover, the blue globe representing worldwide technology, the shadow box from the St. Louis Community Empowerment Foundation, and the Anheuser-Busch Eagle. In addition, of course, this year we are very proud that we have an award for each of our awardees today from the President of the United States, Barack Obama. So all of you will receive a Volunteer Service Award, official certificate, and volunteer pin. Ladies and gentlemen, our 175 awards. Congratulations to our awardees. As they are leaving, I would like to give a very, very, very special thanks to our staff, who you can see here today, and our volunteers who have worked so hard this week and last week. They were here last night until 2 a.m. setting up your gift displays. And they have been working nonstop and volunteering evenings and weekends. Many of them are our scholarship, internship, mentoring students from the Community Empowerment Foundation. And I cannot say thank you enough because they have really gone above and beyond the call of duty, and we want to thank them. One more round of applause as they leave. So now we will begin our awards presentation, and we will be starting today with Sandra Moore. I would like to ask Sandra to please come forward. We want to thank Sandra for all of her hard work and leadership and dedication. Sandra is working nationally on so many different projects for Urban Strategies. She is the president of Urban Strategies, a nonprofit corporation that works with developers to rebuild distressed urban core communities, which has been her focus. With other positions that she has held, she leads a team of more than 50 professionals around the entire United States where mixed income housing communities have recently been completed or developed. She has been a cabinet member for the late Governor Mel Carnahan, and she constantly works to improve our community. Sandra Moore. Our next awardee is Mary Polk, who will be receiving our Civic Leadership Award. Mary is an accomplished educator who has held numerous administrative roles in the St. Louis Public Schools, a prolific writer with a column entitled The St. Louis Scene for over 40 years in the Sentinel newspaper, and a civic leader par excellence. Her contributions are boundless, from board positions, church involvement, civic advocacy, and women's organizations, and we are very proud to honor Mary Polk with our Civic Leadership Award. Thank you, Ms. Polk. Our next awardee is the Honorable Casey Starr Triplett, who is receiving our Government Leadership Award. Casey is the Alderwoman of the 6th Ward in the city of St. Louis and the youngest woman to ever be elected to the Board of Aldermen. She has been featured in national publications such as Ebony, and St. Louis Alive magazine is one of St. Louis's local residents with the most buzz. From representing President Obama to local board members and international travel to East Asia as part of a bipartisan delegation, she works to bridge universal relationships. She has just returned from Denmark and continues to represent her ward with style, grace, elegance, and productivity, already having achieved over $400 million of development in the short time she's been at the board. Casey Starr Triplett. Our next honoree is Kathleen Brady, who is receiving the Civic Leadership Award today. Kathleen is a dedicated public servant. Her relationship with St. Louis University started as a cum laude graduate and advanced to vice president for facility services and civic engagement at St. Louis University. Previously, she served as chief of staff for the St. Louis Development Corporation and Community Development Agency. Among her many boards is the Center for Emerging Technologies, and while she has been at SLU, she has been one of the most powerful women in the construction industry, overseeing over $1 billion worth of development. Kathleen Brady. Valerie Patton is receiving our Business Leadership Award today. Valerie is the Executive Director of the St. Louis Business Diversity Initiative that resulted in her being featured in Black Enterprise magazine. She volunteers countless hours to many organizations and helps them build business skills to boards and organizations such as the United Way of Greater St. Louis, the Girl Scouts, and the St. Louis Public Schools Foundation. Valerie is community-focused in developing diversity and workforce inclusion through recruitment, retention, and advancement of talented people of color. Valerie Patton. Robbie Montgomery, our Business Leadership Awardee 2012. Now, how many people have seen Robbie's show on television? And she has been a star long before she had a show on television. What's love got to do with it, Robbie? That's the movie that made many of us remember the days that Robbie Montgomery performed with Ike and Tina Turner as an Ikeette. But even back then, Robbie was cooking on the road. And now we enjoy watching her on Saturday nights on the Oprah Winfrey Network and her hit reality show, Sweetie Pies. Robbie has come a long way and is now opening a full-service banquet hall, Sweetie Pies Upper Crust, in Midtown and Grand Center. She is a living legend and responsible for at least 25 pounds on meat. Robbie Montgomery. Cindy Erickson. Cindy is receiving our Community Leadership Award. She is the Chief Executive Officer of the American Red Cross, the 15th largest chapter in the country, with revenues in excess of $15 million. Throughout her career, she has served the community beyond her positions on board memberships and as a consultant. In her role in New York after 9/11, she helped create Operation Return Home. She is at the forefront of providing for those in need all over America and the world. Cindy Erickson. Sandra, unfortunately, is going to have to leave us today, but we did want to say thank you to her for being with her because she unfortunately had the passing of her sister. So we want to keep all of her family in our thoughts and prayers, and they will be having services soon, and we just want to say thank you to her for spending some time with us today. And also we want to ask Reverend Dr. Jacqueline Brock and Lou Brock, of course, our resident ministers and supporters, if they would give special prayers up for her as well. And which is appropriate that our next awardee is the Reverend Dr. Jacqueline Brock, receiving our Religious Leadership Award. Reverend Brock has delivered powerful invocations worldwide via the internet and serving prison ministry and social service organizations all over the country and the world, has done invocations and ministry at the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. She is a renowned businesswoman in her own right, where she was the first African American to own a chain of showgirl nail shops in Missouri and Illinois, as well as own a variety of designer retail stores. She is the chancellor of the Brock Bible School and the wife of Reverend and National Baseball Hall of Famer Lou Brock. Together, they have raised millions of dollars for charitable and civic causes in St. Louis and around the country, and they are now spearheading a national initiative against bullying all over the country. Reverend Brock. Shirley Drury, our Business Leadership Awardee today. Shirley is the Senior Vice President of Drury Development Corporation and builders of more than 130 hotels across the country with nearly 3,500 team members. Drury has earned the J.D. Power and Associates Award for highest in guest satisfaction for 6 consecutive years. She is responsible for interior design of new developments and renovations of existing properties. She and her husband, Charles, and her entire family continue to serve this community by donating large sums of funds to provide for opportunities for young minorities and others at Cardinal Ritter Community College, Prep High School, along with St. Louis University and many other organizations. She is the mother of 7 children, 21 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandchildren. Shirley Drury. Adrian Bracy, Community Leadership Awardee 2012. Adrian is the Chief Executive Officer of the YWCA of Metropolitan St. Louis. She has over 20 years' experience in senior finance management with sports teams such as the St. Louis Rams and Cardinals. She was recognized by Black Enterprise as one of the 50 most powerful blacks in sports, and a host of other local and national awards, including the National Black MBA Association. Her charitable and civic contributions are too numerous to count. She is a role model of giving back to the community. Adrian Bracy. Kimberly McKinney, our Community Leadership Awardee of 2012. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Habitat for Humanity St. Louis. Locally, under her leadership, over 300 houses have been built that consistently rank in the top 20 of the entire Habitat affiliates across the country. And we are very proud to say, as a foundation, that the #1 community where Habitat homes have been built is in the Jeff Vanderloo neighborhood where our foundation was started. We are very proud of her work and happy to collaborate with her. She serves on numerous boards, and she is currently the president of the Missouri Affordable Workforce Housing Association. Kimberly McKinney. Dr. Myrtle E.B. Dorsey, Our Education Leadership Awardee 2012. She is the Chancellor of the St. Louis Community College District, which oversees a multi-campus college system consisting of 4 campuses, 90,000 students, and an operating budget of $167 million. She is also the chair of the National Association of American Community Colleges 21st Century Commission on the Future of Community Colleges. She is the former chancellor of the community college system in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She has embraced St. Louis, and we have embraced her back. Dr. Dorsey. Frankie Eichenberger, our Corporate Leadership Awardee 2012. Frankie is the Senior Vice President and Regional Market Manager for U.S. Bank's Consumer Banking Group. She oversees over 750 branch employees. Every time you go to U.S. Bank and you have an excellent experience, that is a result of Frankie Eichenberger. If you have a bad one, that was not her. That was someone else. Her team was named Top Women's Banking Team in the U.S. Banker magazine. She initiated the Head Start reading program and collected over 300 books for 4 sites at U.S. Bank, where U.S. Bank employees volunteer to read to children each month and are rewarded with 8 hours of paid comp time to do so. And she was also named one of the most powerful women in banking in the United States. Frankie Eichenberger. And now we have our Lifetime Achievement Awardee for 2012, the incomparable Zernona Clayton, who will be escorted here by Mr. Richard Roundtree to the stage. Now, as you know, Ms. Clayton is a living legend. She worked with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. She was the personal friend of Coretta Scott King as she continued on his legacy and helped with civil rights. She created the Civil Rights Walk of Fame in Atlanta, Georgia, and also is the founder and CEO of the Trumpet Awards Foundation, which has been awarding and saluting African Americans for over 20 years that we have all enjoyed. Now, last year in this room, I must say on a personal note, I was so excited when she said that Johnny Fur and I were her boyfriends. And I thought, this is great. What an honor. And then I got to Atlanta for the Trumpet Awards, and I found out it's a whole lot of boyfriends running around here. Blair Underwood was a boyfriend. Tyrese was a boyfriend. Denzel was a boyfriend. I said, wow, they're all over America. And then she said, Richard Roundtree is one of the pioneer boyfriends. I said, wow, well, at least I'm in good company. At first, I thought it was just me and Johnny. There was the 2 of us. Then I found out they were all over America. But in Atlanta, she coordinates, as you all have seen, the Trumpet Awards that we watch every year on television that just aired on Easter and continues to provide a legacy for African Americans across this country. But she continues to do so many things from a civic and charitable standpoint. She has a school and orphanage named after her in Africa. So in addition to all of the things that each of our awardees are going to receive, you know that we always do something special for our lifetime achievers. So Ms. Clayton, we have some opportunities for you to rest and relax. We have a $500 gift card for American Airlines for you to travel anywhere that you see appropriate. And we will start with you having a 3-night complimentary stay at the Marriott Marquis in New Orleans, Louisiana, and a weekend stay for you to go to the Renaissance in downtown Chicago as well. Now, Someone of your caliber who has been everywhere and seen everything has to have something special and unique done to pay tribute. So, we have some other items that we have prepared for you as well. We decided to get a large Tiffany vase, since you said that was your favorite color. So you have a 12-inch Tiffany vase for you to put your flowers in once you get back to Atlanta. In addition, we have a book courtesy of Louis Vuitton that deals with the entire history of Louis Vuitton since its inception. But we also, while you were resting and relaxing on all your trips, we had a specially engraved towel and robe made for you with the city seal of St. Louis on it, so that you will never ever forget us and that you will always have St. Louis in your heart. So we wanted to make sure that you had those items as well, of course. And it has the seal embedded along with your name. Now, if you flip the inside, it says, "From Mike McMillan, the newest boyfriend." And last. I wouldn't have shut it down after that. And last. But of course, being who you are and the grace and elegance and magnificence that you portray all the time, we also wanted to have another very special presentation. So we had a custom gown made for you in collaboration with and thanks to one of your fellow awardees, the Reverend Dr. Jacqueline Brock. And we wish to present you with this gown today. And the owner and proprietor of the store, who is here with us today, wants to say thank you to you for a lifetime of service and thanking others. And it is presented, this wedding gown is presented by Wedding Gown Couture in St. Charles, Missouri. The owner, Nagwa Abdelgafour, is here and wants to thank you for all that you have done. Congratulations. And finally, because you are the queen that you are and all that you have done, our longest reigning monarch that we referenced earlier, Queen Elizabeth, is the premier of grace and elegance and royalty. And so we have a replica from Buckingham Palace of her tiara for you to wear. Congratulations and thank you. We love you, we appreciate you, and we are honored to honor you who have been honoring others for 20 years. Congratulations.
Okay, someone asked me if I were going to be here. And I said, are you kidding? I've paid him to let me be here. This is the kind of honor you pay for. I was coming whether he invited me or not, because I was here last year. And I didn't know what I was going to get, but I knew I'd get something if I came. So I'm here, and guess what? I didn't know whether you all would love me like you did last year, so I brought my own entourage, stand-up entourage. They're here. They're here from all over the country. Well, this doesn't mean anything. Well, I'll just talk. Well, you can hear me now. I'm so happy I don't know what to do. It's like in church. I'll say amen to everything. And I want you all to know that Johnny was my boyfriend a long time, and I am known as a woman with all these boyfriends because, see, you young girls just don't have it. You got to be young, sexy, voluptuous, and modest. So I had him a long time with his wife's approval, of course. I get the wife's approval. But I make them go through a training session to qualify to be my boyfriend. Then I came to St. Louis last year, and I met Michael. I said, Michael, you don't need no training. I'm going to make you a boyfriend instantly. So he's it. Seriously, I have never, and I've traveled the world, I have never seen an event like this. But also, there are two other things I have not seen. I've never met a more caring man than Michael. Nor have I seen a more appreciative community than St. Louis. You are wonderful. Now, there are two people I want to cite. I do the Trumpet Awards. For 20 years, we've been bringing the contributions of African Americans. We go not only over the United States, but we go all over the world to 185 countries, telling the good news about African American achievement and the contributions of people who helped make it possible. That would not have happened had Johnny Furr and Vanessa Foster joined in helping us do that. And I want all of you to know that this is not just a television program with glitz and glamour, and thank you for the glitz. But we have to understand what Dr. King said. In order to bring about better understanding, bridging the gap of blacks and whites in this racist America in which we have come, we have to have people live together, work together, and understand together what we do as a people. Because Dr. King's philosophy was, he didn't believe that white people hated us just because they loved to hate. Some of them hated us because they didn't know us. And I wanted America and the world to know the contributions of people, and we have changed negative attitudes through this program. I'm delighted to be a part of an operation that brings people together, and Michael, you do it so effectively. I'm proud, but I want to ask a question, Michael. You said that y'all gonna deliver my gifts to me, but I want all the men to bring them to me. St. Louis citizens, you have a treasure in this man. And what I like about, well, everything he does, but what I'm most proud of, Michael, is that here you have in this community men and women, well, men who contribute to the event, but black and white women together who make this a rich community. So that's what we have to do, come together as a nation. And I was glad to see all of these people. Man, I like all these gifts. And if I had to rank them, I don't know where I'd start, because I like that beautiful dress. And man, you wait till the boyfriends get through with me when I wear that. And you other women can be as jealous as you want to be. I'm going to look better than everybody when I look there. Now, that bathrobe Michael, you gonna bring that to me? And this, oh man, I'm sleeping in this tonight. Michael, my room number is 4204. He mentioned our Walk of Fame in Atlanta, where we've taken the footprints, where we took the shoes of real people who have made a real difference in our society. We took those shoes, created a footprint, embedded in cement, bordered in bronze, and made a sidewalk. We have the shoes of Rosa Parks, the shoes she was wearing when she was on the bus, the shoes of Medgar Evers, the shoes he was wearing when he was murdered. And guess who else's shoes we have? Stand up, honoree. You got a St. Louis in. Frankie. Frankie's footprints. When you come to Atlanta, you can feel a piece of your history because her footprints are on that sidewalk. And I can't thank you, Vanessa and Johnny, because Johnny took our shoes, created a van, and carried those shoes all over this country to major conventions for young people. And one story, I was speaking at a school, which I often do, and a little boy about 9 years old was on the floor, and I thought he was being disrespectful. The teacher asked him what he was doing. He said, "I need to speak to Miss Clayton." He was taking off his shoes. He said, "One day I'm going to be somebody, and she's going to need my shoes." We know we're inspiring people, but that's what you are doing here in St. Louis. Michael, you're not just giving gifts. You are encouraging folk to be their best selves, because that's what makes a rich community. People doing something. You know, we all come, we're born here. Too many people occupy space and do nothing. And then here we see the examples of you here in St. Louis, obviously doing something wonderful to make this a great place. I'm more than delighted. Delighted is about the best word I can come up with because my vocabulary is limited. But I can tell you that I'm delighted to be here, thrilled beyond words to have friends like you guys, excited about what Michael is doing for this country through the citizens here. And I thank you more than I could ever say for all you've done for me. Thank you.
And thank all of you for joining us again. We are looking forward to our 10th anniversary next year. We want to tell you how much we appreciate you, we love you, we respect you, and we're looking forward to honoring you again. And we want to give a special thanks to, once again, our staff and our board who have worked so hard. Let's give them one more round of applause and congratulate them and thank you. And as you leave, God bless and keep you, and we look forward to seeing you at our 10th anniversary. Have a great weekend and a great year. God bless you.